Well, good morning, everyone. It has been a while since I have done a solo Wednesday walkabout, but today might be a good day to do just that. So I've got all sorts of painters in the house who are painting the trim, painting the new divider, the front door with the additional trim work that they put on it, and it is going to get let's just say a little stinky in a while with all of the fumes. So I am going to do this walkabout, and then I am going to head out to a coffee shop to do some work. And then later today, I'm looking forward to going to John Turman's to do a Christmas tour of his home. It may be December 18th, but stuff is really still, I'm so pleased at how full and lush everything looks. Let's go over some things in particular. Roses in December. Well, these are they have been spectacular. There's new buds on them on both sides, and they continue to bloom their heads off. And what's interesting is these are white roses, and it seems that everything kind of has a default as it gets colder, that it turns more pink, more red, more orange in those tonal ranges. And here's my question of the day. If you should know why that is, let me know. Might be something worth researching. And it's not just the flowers, it's also, look at the new growth on there. It also has that reddish pink hue. And we see it, well, I see it just about everywhere. Now, the orange rocket barberry has been spectacular. I'll include a couple of pictures from earlier in the week here before it got windy, and a lot of its foliage was lost. But boy, when it was in full splendor underneath the now devoid of its leaves October Glory tree, it was incredible. And then also what has turned a particularly deep red, more so than I remember in previous years, is all of the Nandina, the Obsession Nandina, just in time, I guess, for the holidays. Really, really beautiful. Because it's been dry, I've had to continue watering, and my watering has paid off. Look at all of those larkspur seeds that have already germinated. I'm having trouble talking because it's a little bit cold out here today, forgive me. And then all of the foxglove that I transplanted is doing just amazingly. I was looking at James Farmer's most recent book, and he talks about entertaining when all the foxglove is in bloom, and I may have to do that same thing. I've done it with the tulips, I've done it with the roses, but now I think I need to have some kind of entertaining that is geared strictly around the splendor of the foxglove. It will be in drifts all throughout the front borders on the upper terrace. The other thing that really surprised me is how intense the golds have been. Everything turned late because it was just such a warm fall and late summer. But look at all the golds of this Little Miss Bonnie spirea. That's a southern living plant. And the golds have just been a breathtaking companion to all of the reds. And in fact, some of the foliage on that spirea is red, depending on where it was in the landscape. And the ligustrum continues to just be that really bright, brilliant gold next to the Husker red penstem. And it's been a really beautiful very late fall, and I feel so fortunate that all of this has really maintained its beauty this late in the year. Look at the beautiful shadows on the wall of the climbing rose, and it is really climbing. So I anticipate that next spring it's going to be marvelous, and I could not be happier. Look, it has scaled that window, and there's new growth on the end by the awning. By the way, there's been some adjustments made to the awnings, and I'll share that with you a little bit later. But this should be spectacular, especially when the Taiga clematis grows up it. Another interesting thing that I've noticed, and I'm recording in my journal, and if you guys don't have one, it's on deep discount on Amazon right now. All of the Encore azalea buds that are on the Encore azaleas, and hopefully they won't freeze out this year, because I would love to have a fabulous show in the spring. Look at how gorgeous the light looks right now, you guys. And the berries on the Yopan. So pleased with that selection there. Feeding them really helped. So I'll give you another look at the front door with the trim, and then the storm door is also in the process of being completed. It's already been framed out, a great template, and then it will be awaiting glass. Now I've got another question for you guys. So I really like the way the wreaths look. Everything in the garden is looking beautiful, including all of the pansies and violas, which are almost looking a little too beautiful to me. Again, it's been warm, and all of them are just blooming their heads off, which just doesn't seem, I mean, I know they're supposed to bloom in the fall, but I just think that, to me, they're more spring inspiration than winter inspiration. You can hear the painters in the background. And look at all the beautiful flower heads, dried flower heads on the white wedding hydrangeas. Looks like I need to fill my bird bath. I've been getting lots of questions about the red buds and do they require any kind of special care, and they really don't. These are eastern red buds, and they are native to Oklahoma. Now, one thing I do try to do, just because I'm a little bit fastidious about such things, is while they are still within reach, I'm probably going to remove a lot of these seed heads, just because I kind of don't like the way they look. The dried brown against the pink flowers when these begin to bloom in the spring. Now, obviously, when they get taller, that's not possible. But for right now, I can remove them. And they have put on, oh my goodness, I'm going to say they've put on maybe some of them 2 feet of growth, a foot of growth, since I planted them, as have the Nellie Stevens hollies that have lots of bright red berries. Here's another example of that default to kind of a reddish pink in that sedum there, in the mums that bloomed in white, but now they're turning into pink. And notice that even on the apple blossom roses, even that foliage in gold looks beautiful. You can see that wind, and it's a biting wind, you guys. It's kind of chilly out here. Okay, I don't think that this ajuga is really supposed to be blooming this time of year. And I've been reading more about it, and I'd always considered it to be kind of a shade, semi-sun plant, but actually it likes full sun, and I think the more sun it's in, the less prone it is to powdery mildew. That will be something that I'll really be paying attention to this coming season. And look, see, there's that pinky red again in the foliage of the oak leaf hydrangeas. Well, the back is looking pretty barren right now because all of the pillows have gone in. A lot of the things that had height are now without their leaves. And obviously lots of the container plantings I've moved indoors. But let's come back here and check on the planting boxes. Look at that lavender and how beautifully it's doing. And I want to see if I'm going to get any kind of harvest out of the lettuce. And look, the lettuce is still hanging in there. It's still growing. So later this afternoon, it will get some sun. And when I checked on the long-term forecast, it looks like on Christmas, it's going to be 66 degrees. Now this winter, it looks like that one planter box has started to sink a little bit. So we'll address that. And I've made, a couple of notations in my garden journal about things that I want to change. The light is really pretty nevertheless. Not a lot of fires recently out here since my menfolk have been gone. But once they get back and the holidays arrive and we're all here, I'm sure it will be put to good use. Okay, over here, look, I missed one pumpkin. And it looks like some kind of little hobbit squirrels have made a house down here in that pumpkin. It looks kind of cute in its own way. I think next year, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a true potting bench over there. I need to bring in those clay pots or cover them. And because I want a place that's a little bit more permanent for me to do some potting. Got a grapevine down. But look at the shadows. Look at just the contrast of that gray green with the boxwood. I might have mentioned a few times that I adore boxwood, and especially this new Vater boxwood. Look how well it's performing in both the ground and in the pots. Well, with that, you guys, I'm cold. I'm going to go in and get another cup of hot coffee, maybe eat a late breakfast. Lots to do before Christmas, just around the corner. And I hope everyone enjoys Stuart's new video, Christmas Time at the Cottage. Santa truly comes to town.